What famous person did you regret meeting because they were an ass? Met Tiger Woods when I was 15. He slapped my hat out of my hand. A different golfer whom I didn't know ran up, picked up my hat, and asked if his signature would be okay. I agreed, but I don't know who he was or what his name was, but my grandpa was pleased upon seeing it. Dude, that was Arnold Palmer. Jared Leto. I sat next to him on a flight from Monterrey, Mexico back in 2018. Absolute butthole. So far, dude has gotten most mentions of anyone. Next level. Well, right now he's 3 out of the top 6 on this thread, so I'm super convinced that he's the biggest piece of crap celebrity of all time, minus like Bill Cosby, R. Kelly, and I'm sure probably a bunch of other people. I really hope Leto sees this thread and realizes that he sucks. I really hope Leto sees this thread and realizes that he sucks. Oh, he knows. Late to this but Polly sure. It was mid-90 in NY City and wife and I were at a very popular Asian restaurant with a huge wait. He walks in with an entourage and tries to worm his way ahead of everyone else. He tried to play the "don't you know who I am?" card. Hostess was having none of it, said "don't know, don't care, you'll wait." They left in a huff. Jared Leto. Hit on my girlfriend at the time, and called me fat. His brother Shannon was super nice though. Why am I not surprised? He looks like he's got the personality of a trash bag. To be fair, I am fat, but I knew that already. Lol. At least he didn't tattoo fat on your forehead. I met him at a show, had a similar experience. He was a total rude, aloof dickhead and his brother was super lovely, warm, and sweet. I was the ass. I saw Don Cheadle at an airport and was thinking about Ocean's 11 and said to my friend, "Dude, it's Bernie Mac," and he looked back and said, "No, I'm the other black guy from Ocean's 11, but at least you liked the movie." Damn. You effed up lol. He handled that pretty well. F. That's gold. He's a funny dude. Kurt Vonnegut. I had to get in touch with him frequently for work, at a nonprofit, for several years. He was never once even vaguely polite. So it goes. Really? That sucks to hear. My uncle actually has a great story about meeting Kurt Vonnegut in the late 90s/early 2000s. He was walking down the street in Montauk one day and saw Vonnegut walking past him. My uncle said, "Excuse me, Mr. Vonnegut, I just want to say that I'm a great admirer of your work." And Vonnegut apparently said, "Thank you," and stopped to talk to him for a few minutes. He asked what my uncle did for work, and he told him he was a professor and Vonnegut's eyes lit up. Then Vonnegut asked him a few questions about his subject, philosophy, before bidding him a good day. My uncle then ran into him on the street again about a week or two later and Vonnegut passed him with a smile and a nod, while saying hello again, "Professor." My uncle loves to tell that story. Ace Braley of Kiss. It was at a rock and roll/TV/movie memorabilia convention in the mid-90s, shortly before the Kiss reunion, and he clearly didn't want to be there. He didn't talk to fans, didn't say hi, hell, he didn't even look at you when you came to his table. He just signed whatever you placed in front of him and then you were hustled away. On the other hand, Adam Batman West was at the next signing table and he was a totally cool guy. Shook hands, chatted with everyone, signed whatever we wanted, posed for pics, etc. Meeting him more than made up for Ace's surly, hungover douchebaggery. Reggie Jackson. He was a childhood idol of mine. I got the opportunity to get a photo with him at some booth at a trade show called Internet World years ago during the dot-com boom. No one was in line to get pictures with him, so I walked up to get a photo while he was apparently trying to get the girls in the next booth over to sleep with him. He acted all bugged that I asked for a photo, even though that is what he was hired for, and rolled his eyes. I guess he thought I cock-blocked him by just showing up in line to get a picture. I tossed the picture in the trash once I got it. Later that day I got a ball signed by Steve Garvey, who was super nice. He replaced Reggie Jackson as my hero that night. Most interactions involving Reggie Jackson that I've read about have been negative. That said, My dad used to work as a mechanic and I'm not sure if he worked on Reggie's car, but he got to speak with him for a short time. Said he was a nice enough guy. My mom was pregnant with me at the time and he asked him if he could write an autograph for me, which he was happy to do. I still have it. Just on a regular cardstock piece of paper, it says Reading at Work 5, good luck. Mr. October. He also met Ricky Henderson a few times through the same place and my dad loves Ricky Henderson. Says the Man of Steel is always cool and pleasant. I've got a couple signed cards from him. Ricky Henderson isn't human. What a cool dude. Bobby Flay, we paid hundreds of dollars to go to a fancy event he was participating in. Waited for a long-ass time to just meet him and say hi, he looked at us and walked away. Was a dick about it too. Never really liked Bobby Flay. The dude basically took Iron Chef and tried to steal it and Americanize it and call himself an Iron Chef. I've eaten at Mesa Grill in Vegas, not surprised it lost its Michelin star. Also, Flay has no other restaurants with a Michelin star. At this point, he is just a celebrity that is a chef, slaps his name on a few restaurants, that's it. This is after he was extremely disrespectful as a competitor in the original Iron Chef. Twice. A famous soap opera star in my country, he came into the Dairy Queen I was working at. I didn't know who he was and my coworker started hyperventilating and went to the back. The guy was rude, and when I handed him his cone he said, "Is that all?" Like he expected extra because he was famous. Yeah dude, if you order one scoop you get one scoop. Didn't find out he was famous until he left and my coworker came back to the front. This is a Dairy Queen, sir, not a drama queen. Prince Andrew, spent a lot of time around him about 10 years ago, as working at private social events he attended. The guy is a total prick. Maybe he would have been nicer to you if you were younger. I've heard worse said about him. Me and my sister saw Alec Baldwin, Tina Fey, and Salma Hayek on the street when we were eating lunch. They were just coming out of a car, about to go into some building next to us. We had no idea why they were together, but in retrospect, it was definitely because they were filming 30 Rock together. My sister said, "Oh my god, is that Tina Fey?" And Alec Baldwin turned around and went right in her face and said, "Don't effing say that, don't speak to us, why would you say something like that? You can't speak to us, not now." But it didn't really end there, he yelled again at us outside his building, saying, "Don't look over here, turn around and eat your food, F off." He sounded genuinely furious at us. Almost like he wanted us to yell back and start something with him. Honestly, my sister was on the verge of tears, it was horribly embarrassing. Everybody knows, now, that Alec Baldwin has a history of screaming at people. But at the time, we had no idea. Don't get me wrong, my sister shouldn't have yelled at Tina Fey like that, but the way Alec snapped was straight up scary, like he was about to physically hurt her. Salma Hayek and some other lady who I didn't recognize came over and apologized to us. She asked if we wanted her to go and get Tina and get her autograph because apparently, Tina felt bad too, but we said no. She then talked to us about the food we were eating, which was Mexican food, and we ended up having a brief conversation about NY's lack of quality Mexican food. She was incredibly charismatic and sweet. I met Baldwin once myself. I always look for his name in threads like this to see if anyone else has had a similar experience. The guy was a complete butthole, even after borrowing a pen to write some notes for an impromptu speech he was about to give. It about ruined 30 Rock for me. Knew someone who worked with Baldwin. Yep. Giant dickhead. My daughter worked with Salma on her upcoming movie Bliss and said she was fantastic. When I was 6 or 7, Hulk Hogan pretend WrestleMania chased me out of a boardroom I wasn't supposed to be playing around in at Little League Complex. Cross Bayou in Pinellas County. Anyways, the story is my dad was coaching a game for my brother's team. I went to go sneak around in an empty room. Hulk's son played baseball there too and he must have seen me sneak in the room. I was hiding under the front desk when he came in with his Hulk voice, "Who's sneaking around in here?" and 7-year-old me nearly had a heart attack. He play chased me out of the room while I snuck out acting as if he couldn't see me. Looking back at it, you can tell he was just having fun with a kid in his famous persona. But at the time I was absolutely traumatized and nobody believed my story. Was staying at a Marriott on the concierge level when I walked by the VIP lounge and Hulk Hogan and Stone Cold were sitting in their post-match devouring the biggest shrimp cocktail platter I've ever seen. I nodded and said, "Hey Terry," and Hulk boomed, "Come have some shrimp, brother." I politely declined and said I was going to let them eat in peace. I think he appreciated that more than if I had asked him for an autograph. Hogan is a good dude. Edit. Upon reflection, it was almost certainly Goldberg, not Stone Cold. I'm not really a wrestling fan and get those two mixed up sometimes. It was over 20 years and it was a 10-second interaction. The management regret law the error. I lost my crap at "Come have some shrimp, brother." I can clearly hear him say that in my head. I met Wayne Gretzky once. Dude's a bit of a code, to be honest, or I caught him on a bad day. We all get like that. His father, R.I.P., was so much cooler than he was. On the flip side, my brother met Gord Downie, also R.I.P., at a get-together. He was with his girlfriend and her family at one of her parents' friends' place. They're all sitting, chatting, and having a good time. Out of nowhere, Gord walks in as if it's nothing. Apparently, the owners of the house were friends with Gord. My brother, being a huge Tragically Hip fan, was internally freaking, but he kept cool on the outside as to not bother him. He talked with him for a while about sports and things like that. Towards the end of the night, when my brother was getting ready to leave, Gord stopped him and shook his hand while saying, "Thank you for pretending to not know who I am." I wouldn't say disappointing, as I never was eager to meet him, but Drake was just unprofessional and egotistical when I worked with him both times. This was before he got big, first award show type level. He's told me to F off directly, and I watched his mom calm him down from a tantrum. This is the most in-character story I've read this entire thread. Jimmy really got big-headed after leaving Degrassi. Bill Nye the Science Guy. I was on a field trip in middle school and our teacher saw him. She politely asked if he could say something to us or just say hi. We always watched him in science class. He told her to F off and basically berated her for bothering him and asking him to speak to a bunch of kids. I'm not sure if he was just having a bad day, but it was not the best experience as a child. This is the third comment I've seen about Bill Nye. How disappointing. Not my story, but a coworker's story. Let's call her Holly. Holly was a flight attendant many years ago, and on one flight, Whitney Houston and Bobby Brown were in first class. Holly was going through taking drink orders and politely asked Whitney Houston if she would like something to drink but didn't get an answer. So assuming she didn't hear her, Holly asked her again if she would like something to drink. Whitney Houston looked out the window with a disgusted face in response. Bobby Brown then said to Holly, she doesn't speak to the help. Then ordered for her. Emo, if you're flying commercial, you are not hot crap. I cannot fathom the level of arrogance it takes to think people are so far below you that they are not deserving of being spoken to by you. Edit. I was not moved by Whitney Houston's death, but she did not deserve to die over this. Crap, y'all. I would not have thought Bobby Brown was the politer of the two. Probably only for British people, but my boyfriend saw Peter Kay with his bodyguard in a chippy. Didn't say anything but elbowed his brother. Peter Kay saw him and said, "Yeah, it is me, now F off." Pretty harsh considering my boyfriend was only 11 at the time. He was the compare at my friend's first gig, and as he was introducing her, he surreptitiously wound the wire really tightly around the mic stand. For that first vital minute of her act, she was stuck performing an awkward unraveling of the wire instead of bonding with the audience. He did it on purpose. What an insecure dick. Bill Nye. Meet him when I was like 10 years old. He was a complete butthole. You're about the fourth person saying this. Damn. I had a science teacher in high school who met him. She said, "For a man that's so successful, he sure is sad." I used to work in a posh hotel in Canada, vague on purpose, and I had met many famous people during my time there. Most were forgettable interactions, honestly, but one stands out as the absolute worst. Chevy Chase. He is a trash human being. He was totally miserable and insulting to all the staff, and we treated him with nothing but professional respect and courtesy. If I ever meet him again, I'll tell him to his face what a colossal piece of crap he is. I can't watch his movies since. For the record, the best celebrity guest for me was Dave Grohl. He's an awesome guy. Everyone always has something nice to say about Dave Grohl. Nobody ever has had nice to say about Chevy Chase. One of the first concerts I attended had the Foo Fighters on one of the main stages. This was when Color and Shape just came out. There was a young guy in a wheelchair, in the pit. People were tossing him around, but carefully, because don't want to damage him or the chair. Dave leaned over to check on him during a solo. Kid gave him the thumbs up. Dave had the biggest grin, gave it back. Yeah, he's definitely someone to look up to, the perfect Grohl model for kids. I think the fact that they rehired Dan Harmon to Community in Season 5 and put a ban on Chase entering the studio they filmed in, after allegedly taking Chase's side in their dispute, says a lot. Dave Grohl is a effing legend. Man broke his leg during a gig and still finished the set because he didn't want to let his fans down. His ankle was so smashed that his foot was dangling. The EMT reset his leg and then held his foot and ankle so they wouldn't move, for a set with 26 songs. If that's not dedication, I don't know what is. The guy was a doctor if I recall correctly. He was interviewed along with Grohl and the guy said Dave had no idea how bad it actually was. Performing from his glorious throne. I've always heard bad things about Chevy Chase. Ray Romano. Met him at a carnival 12 years ago and he was a complete dickhead. I asked someone who was within proximity if it was indeed Ray Romano, and he hears me ask, then turns around and says, "Oh hey look, it's Ray Romano," with a sarcastic tone, and my father said, "You don't have to be rude," and his reply was, "Your kid doesn't have to talk to effing strangers either. Good job dad," and he walked off just babbling bullcrap to himself. Kind of crafty since I spent some years watching his damn show. He should have responded with, "Would you like to F me, Ray? Would you like it if I pulled my pants down right here, Ray?" Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to be the first to know about Red Rabbit Reader's new videos. If you like our videos, please like them on YouTube and share them with your friends. We welcome your comments below. Press to start another of our videos.